Look at my honey girl right here. She's so cute.
Hi, babies.
We've been bouncing back and forth. Like, I was over here with her, and then I was over here with her, and then she wanted to stretch out that way, so I moved over here, and then she's gonna come back over here. It's funny. You know, watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's kind of background stuff, but you know, Natalia Kavashina, I'm probably saying the last name wrong, but uh, from Kazakhstan, I believe, Russian, Ukrainian climber. But anyways, you know, people are like making fun of everybody on Mount Everest, but they would never do what they're doing. It takes a certain individual to risk it all to go up there, and I mean, I understand it. Money aside, I mean, honestly, that'd be a cool thing to do. I mean, it's very dangerous, but anything can happen, in life in general. I mean, you're one step away from, losing it all, and people just like the thing about social media. That's why I have been like staying off of trying to stay off of TikTok talk. It just there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of like people pretending to be something they're not. Buying their views, whatever. There's not really any reality. But like with her, I saw that she has a son, and her son was thinking that she was gonna make it. And the thing is, her husband had a stroke, and she refused to leave him. So, think about it. You can get really old, and you can get, bent over, out of shape, and falling apart. And I've talked to a lot of like, people that are like in their 80s, 90s and stuff. And, some of them have lived a long life, and you see a lot of loss. But I mean, now they both were doing something they loved doing, and people are saying, oh, that she repeated, like her husband died, then she died, and stuff like that. But I've really been I've been fascinated with the Mount Everest thing ever since, into thin air, with the '96 tragedy on Mount Everest. I can understand what it's like to do stuff like that. On a smaller scale, I've done stuff like that. And a lot of it's been because I was arguing with my ex, and, it just puts you in different situations. But the whole point of this is, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's pretty fucking cool, Now, all the trash that's left up there, I don't like that. But trash is everywhere in California. It's disgusting. And the thing is, with them doing that, going up there, it's just something that, an accomplishment that, when you're done with life, or whatever happens when you die, all you have is your memories you take with you. So, Honey Girl and I, we've been all over the place. Yeah, it's a struggle. But, I've also worked at a job, for like 18 years, thinking that, man, I wonder when this will hopefully be done pretty soon. And then it was, and then now it's different. But the whole thing is, you have to realize that you're living on borrowed time, and anything can happen, mental, physical, and I don't know. I think I was like, before like everything happened with the wrong drugs they put me on and all that, I was really like, I thought it was so cool, man. Everest, the story, and it just, people are gonna do what they're gonna do, and there's no stopping them. So the biggest thing is judging people, when you haven't lived their life, especially with people, losing their house, whether it be fire, can't afford it, lost their job, mental, physical thing, and you know nothing about them. You just look at them, you judge them. I'm not talking about everybody doing this, but and I can tell you from experience that I've been on, really low and stuff like that, and people don't really care about you, what's happening with you. And I've talked to many people, and I don't judge them, unless they're an asshole, and then I will. So, but everybody has a story, and if it's true, some people make it up, but a lot of people don't even want to talk about it because it's pretty horrific. So I know from experience, I don't want to talk about a lot of it too. And that's why I don't really post stuff like this too much on. Once in a while I'll pop in. Because TikTok talk is it's just very like, it's almost like very like high school, You have the jocks, you have the nerds, you have all these different people on there, and they're just pretending to be something they're not, There's a lot of made up stuff, AI. There's a lot of people pretending to, hey, look at me, I'm so cool. Well, inside, they hate themselves, They're just putting on a front. My ex used to say, fake it till you make it. And that's one of the worst things because, especially when you're trying to self-medicate with work and, you have mental stuff going on. And the truth thing is, the truth about it all, nobody fucking cares about you. Nobody does. It's hard enough to care for yourself. It's hard enough to be your own advocate when you don't even want to be around. So think about that next time you point fingers, you judge, think about that.